Hello, my name is Bill Peterson. Today I'm going to go over the process of baling hay, from early baling hay to modern day round balers. Tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up on a farm. I was involved with 4-H, also FFA, which is Future Farmers of America. I was also went to the national convention as a delegate in Kansas City, Missouri, so I've been very active in the process. I did a little research and helped do this speech on hay baling, and a good friend of mine, Bob Wallace, I got his operator's manual and parts. Went to the library and I got American Farmer Implements of Antique Implements by Wendell, and this old tractor by Welch. Like I said, we're going to go over the round bales by the end, and there's many different types of round bales. This one's actually a international. Now, before the 1800s, farmers had to cut hay by hand and they had to put it up with a pitchfork. It was all done by hand. Then in the mid 1800s, someone came up with a stationary baler, which actually was mechanical, but still they had to put the hay in by hand. Actually, horses on the conveyor belt, like a treadmill, turn this machine. The farmer would put the hay in the machine would crimp it, make it into a condensed bale, and this individual would have to tie it by hand. Modern day balers do it all automatic. How this helped the farmer was when they had to put the hay on a wagon loose, they had to move it quite a bit, because it's like, let's say, leaves outside. You put them in a bag, and you can put a lot of leaves in one bag, and you take them out of the bag and they expand. Well, it's the same concept with the wagon, because it took forever to get to the barn. In today's modern day, we have a John Deere tractor. This particular tractor has a cab, which I'm sure he has air conditioning, radio, and a CD player. Who knows, he's probably jamming out the AC/DC or just listening to the country. But anyways, as you can see, the tractor is over to the side of the uncut product. The reason for that is so the tractor doesn't spush down the grass. The flail mower is pulled through, and as you can see, once it's cut, it just lays down. Once it's all cut, the farmer comes back with a hay rake. There's many different types. This is a wheel rake. Actually, each wheel wheels it over to one row, which is called a windrow. The importance of a windrow is because before you can bale the hay, you have to have proper moisture content, which is 20 to 30%. If the hay is too wet, because it's condensed, it'll cause spontaneous combustion and start a fire. Hopefully it's not in your barn when it happens and you don't have livestock or anything like that. If it's too low, you'll lose vitamins and your hay will fall to the ground. It won't become in a bale. Think about it with the leaves again. Think about when leaves are too dry, you pick them up and they crumble to the ground. The same effect will happen if hay is too dry. Once your raking is done, it's dried to the proper percent of moisture. Then we go back to our baler again, which actually they'll pull it through the windrow. And the best way to describe that is, think about if you make a snowball and you're trying to make a snowman, you roll it in the snow until it gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the desired size. Same thing with the round baler. Here's a picture where it's already gotten to the desired size, and actually what it does, once it gets to this size, before it drops it out like this, it wraps it up in twine. This is the type of twine that's wrapped all the way around to keep the bale together. Now once the bale gets to the proper size, or whatever the desired size, the machine will stop. It'll automatically open and drop it to the ground. Now, think about back to your snowman. You can't move the snowball because it's too big, so you leave it right where it's at and you make your snowman right there. With round bales, you just can't do that because you can't get the animals to the field because they're in the barn. So they came up with a tractor with a fork. Actually, there was a bucket on that. They take the bucket off, and it's a long metal spike. The spike goes through the center of the hay bale, and they pick it up and put it in the desired, whether they're going to put it on a trailer or directly to the barn. Some farmers leave it out in the field, and they'll put a tarp over it. There's many different ways to do round bales, and I just touched a little bit about it. And I hope this kind of tells you a little bit more, especially if you've never been involved with this process. Thank you.